Yep, it just started.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to How to Launch Your Dream Business in 90 Days Without Letting Overthinking Hold You Back. So first, I want you to pull out your phone, like Charles said. Make sure you have my contact information. If you're on Instagram, go ahead to find me at Duraca_strategic. Duraca is Puerto Rican for tough cookie, and that was my nickname growing up. So go ahead and DM me your favorite emoji. Tell me what brought you here today. I'm going to be looking at those after the webinar, and I'm going to get back to all of you guys. Maybe not today, because I'm headed out on a cross-country road trip tomorrow, but as soon as I can, I will reach back out to all of you. I'll make sure that you get, like Charles said, you'll get the replay of the webinar. Anything else you want, I'll be able to send you the slide deck. Just make sure you go ahead and feel free to tag me on Insta stories. Feel free to shoot me your email, and I'll make sure to send you the deck. All right. So you are in the right place today. If you're sick of busting your butt, making somebody else rich, you want to be your own boss, doing what you're passionate about, and be able to support yourself financially. I'm guessing a bunch of you here may already have your own businesses, so I'm excited to hear about that. Feel free to go ahead and tell me, message me on Instagram, or go ahead and tell me in the chat where you're at in terms of your business journey, whether you've got your side hustle going, you've got your business idea, but you're sort of just in the stages of getting started, or if you've already got like a robust business going and you're looking for help with a specific area. You're also in the right place if you're feeling just drained after hours at your day job and you're just feeling overwhelmed with all the things you need to do to get started with your business. You're just not quite sure what the right first step is because there's just so much to do. Let me know if this is you. You're also in the right place if you feel like you don't know anything about marketing and you're secretly wondering if you'll really be able to find clients that will actually buy from you. Very important, right? For us to have sustainable businesses. So you're in the right place. You made the cut. And obviously we won't be able to go over every single thing today about how to launch your dream business in 90 days. But that's why I want you guys to hit me up on Instagram and let me know where you're at, and we'll make sure I'll let you know how you can continue working with me if you want, and all of that good stuff. Okay, so who here watches This Is Us? Does anybody like that show? Nice. Yes, Deb likes it. Okay, cool. Hi, Deb. Yeah, I love this show. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's really great. I love pretty much all the characters. But let's just pretend that Kevin comes to you and he says, okay, I'm going to give you $10,000 for a friendly competition for the first entrepreneur to get 10 clients. They're going to win $50,000. Kevin is just going to give you $50,000 for the first entrepreneur to get 10 clients. So I want you to think about how you would go about getting that $50,000. What would you do to get those 10 clients? There's a bunch of different ways to go about this, right? So we've got Simon. He knows what he wants to offer, but he just isn't sure exactly where to start. He's not sure where to find people or what to say. He starts trying to find clients just literally anywhere and everywhere. There's like not really any rhyme or reason. So he manages to sign up a friend, a random person from Instagram, and one random person from LinkedIn. But he still needs 7 more clients, and he's not sure how or where to find them. This is Simon the solo hustler. So let me know if this is how you're feeling right now in your business. And then there's Sam. Before she goes out and starts trying to get clients, she carefully crafts her offer based on her skills and market needs. She thinks about who's going to need her offer the most and who's in the best position to get it. She researches where her ideal clients are and tests her messaging before she creates her marketing plan. And then she executes her plan and easily signs up 10 dream clients in 3 days. So she's got time to spare. She wins the $50,000. Sold Out Sam is just crushing it. So if you had to choose between which way you want to go about doing this, would you choose Solo Hustler Simon or Sold Out Sam? Let me know in the chat. I think we'd all pretty much go with Sold Out Sam, right? Who doesn't want $50,000, right? Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Sandra. Thanks, Tanya. Thanks, Lisa. Yes, exactly. So nice to meet you guys. I'm Tasha. I'm here to help the Solo Hustler Simons of the world become the Sold Out Sams of the world. And I got into entrepreneurship sort of a circuitous route. I always wanted to help people, but I just wasn't sure what I had to offer that was unique. This is me as a Peace Corps volunteer in rural Peru. I started my career in international development. And I sort of accidentally became an entrepreneur as a marketing strategist. I was working at a top 3 global ad agency, and friends started coming to me for advice. This is my friend Dawn. If you don't know her, you gotta follow her on Instagram. If you have curly hair like me, especially if you have kinky, super curly hair, she is killing it. She's got amazing stuff for curly hair. She's on Instagram at the most curls. I think she's going to become one of the biggest names in beauty. So I knew that I wanted to be my own boss and build something I was really proud of. I knew that, hold on, I'm just going to close the window. There we go. I knew that I wanted to travel the world and be able to choose my own hours. I knew I needed consistent income if I was going to survive in business. And I knew that I wanted to find dream clients and really know that I'm making a difference. But I also want to have time for me and have time to just enjoy life, not just work. Things when I started out on Instagram, I'll be honest, I was like pretending everything was going great. But in reality, I was really changed to my dingy desk and skipping the gym. This is a picture from when I lived in Parkview. I lived in a basement, and this was really my desk. You'll see there's a typewriter, which I wasn't using for business. Obviously, I was using the laptop, but it was a tough scene, you guys. I'll be honest. I was Simon, and that's where all of this comes from. I was trying everything and anything I could to get clients, but I didn't have a system. And it was just exhausting. This is like actual footage of me during my struggle bus Simon days. It was a struggle. I was really burned out, and I was really just starting to question myself, to be honest. I almost gave up, and you all probably know, I think the stat is like 80% of businesses fail within the first 2 years. I was almost there. And then I had an epiphany moment. I sat back and looked at myself. I was working at a top 3 global advertising agency. I was working for huge US government clients and big Fortune 500 companies. I'd won dozens of industry awards. And I was like, if I can help all of these really important institutions and clients help millions of people, get them to, I've helped literally 1 million people enroll in something called chronic care management services, help the Peace Corps increase their recruitment by 26%. I can apply those same principles to my small business and come up with a solid plan and strategy. It seems like such common sense, and it seems like I should have been able to do that from the beginning. But I didn't. It took a minute for that to happen. But this is actual footage of me during that light bulb moment. So that's how the Forward Part Zero to Launch roadmap was born. This is something that I created for my business, and now have used this to help tons of entrepreneurs. And I'm going to try to go over some of those different parts and pieces for you today so that you can try to think about that and see how that might apply to you. So this is me in September 2019. I quit my job. I got a one-way ticket to Bali. In February, I made $770, but by March, I was into 4 figures, and by April, 5 figures. This is last year. And then by November of last year, I had made it to 6 figures in my business just after a year of launching. So that's pretty awesome. And I've been incredibly lucky during the pandemic. I don't take that lightly, but I want to be able to help other entrepreneurs and small business owners who are just starting out. So that's why I created the Zero to Launch program. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of these principles today. So this enabled me to enjoy my passion projects. This is me speaking at TEDx in Vietnam. It enabled me to take that time for myself I was talking about and explore the world. This is also me in Vietnam, where I spent most of the pandemic. This is exploring the My Son ruins. And it enabled me to start taking more time for myself and do the things that, were really important to me. I stopped skipping the gym. I'm actually working with a personal trainer right now, and being less crazy about, oh my God, I need to be working all the time or things aren't going to work, and be more thoughtful and strategic about everything, right? So I was able to design my ideal life doing work that made me happy, having more money than before, and actually working fewer hours. We are taught to believe that the busier we are, the harder we work, the longer our hours at the office, the more successful we will be. But that just, it turns out, is not the case. You know, we are overwhelmed in our culture, in our society with busyness, right? We are pulled in so many different directions all the time, and we wear that busyness like a badge of honor. You know, a lot of you watching right now, you might already have a full-time job, and you're already, just with that full-time job, pulled in so many different directions, maybe because, you know, your boss is a lot, your clients don't understand boundaries, you know, whatever it is. And then on top of that, you might have a family, you might have a partner, kids you want to spend time with and take care of. You know, maybe you have hobbies you want to indulge, you want to cook, you want to eat healthy. You know, you want to go to the gym and have time for yourself. That is normal, and you should be able to do that. We shouldn't all be struggling so much just to go about our normal day. You should be able to have a fulfilling business or job and career and be able to live a sustainable and happy and healthy lifestyle. I did all of this on 2 hours a day, and you can do it too. Before, I was working a full-time job, 50 to 60 hours a week, sometimes working on weekends, probably working 10 to 12-hour days, had only 10 vacation days a year, and I was making $6,000 a month. Now I work about 20 hours a week, make twice that amount of money, actually more now. And I'm constantly traveling, not so much during the pandemic, but I'm a digital nomad actually, and I'm about to go on a cross-country road trip actually tomorrow. And I have financial and time freedom. So now I want you guys to go to the chat and tell me, what have you been struggling with most as you're trying to become your own boss? What has been the hardest about launching your business? And what have you been told you need to do or feel like you need to do that has been really challenging for you? Time management, Sandy, yes, I hear you there. Such a challenge, such a challenge. Structure to set up the business and acquiring clients to start. Yup. Need for perfection. Yup. Finding clients, struggling with content. What's my unique skill? Funding for credentialing and MVP. I work full time, but want what you have. I want fewer hours. Getting clear and focusing on one idea at a time. Getting bogged down in research and avoiding taking action. Fear of retirement readiness. Bills, health insurance coverage, money, motivation, struggling to get paid. Time management, perfection, not getting overwhelmed by 100 steps, transition from being employee to being boss, and time management, discipline. Awesome. These, yes, you guys, thank you so much for sharing. I realize it's really tough to be vulnerable in, you know, a webinar with a bunch of strangers and me who you've never met before. So thank you so much to everybody who shared. I really appreciate it. And I promise you, you are not alone. So many people who have done my program feel this way, and they all are able to take leaps and bounds in their business. So just know that you are not alone. So many other entrepreneurs are struggling with the same things and feel that way, and they are able to progress. And I don't want to say overcome that, because some of these things will be a continual, not struggle, but you know, you never fully, I'm like, oh my God, if you're struggling with perfectionism, like there's ways we can improve this and overcome this and feel good about what we're doing. Stop getting so overwhelmed with everything, but we might always have to, you know, check ourselves, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the ways we can overcome some of these things. Before I transitioned, I was making 3 big mistakes that were keeping me stuck. Mistake number 1, and all of you perfectionists out there, I think this will resonate with you. Thinking your business idea has to be perfect before you launch. So tell me in the chat if this is you. Thinking your business idea has to be perfect before you launch. If you've got your idea, but you haven't launched yet because Sandy, it's you. Lenora, yup. Lisa, yup. And you're like, I have this idea, but you know, it's holding you back because you're like, oh, this thing, that thing, like it needs to be perfect. You know, we're worried people are going to judge us, right? Or that it won't work out. We are afraid to fail because we are taught that how people see us matters. We're scared to put ourselves out there. But if you're not putting yourself out there, how can you get clients? Okay, let that sink in for a second. I'm going to give you an example. So this is Sergey. He spent years studying all the latest and invests in the finest paints and pigments. He wants to be a painter, right? It takes him 2 years to create his masterpiece. He thinks so carefully about it. He might spend an entire day plotting a single brushstroke. To make it worth his toil, he won't sell it for less than hundreds of thousands of dollars. However, luxury buyers don't seem interested, and his masterpiece sits in his studio after 2 years of work. Okay, now let's compare that to Lucia. She starts out by talking to potential customers and she books several commissions. She uses the money that's paid to her upfront to fund her startup costs of paint and supplies. Her original buyers are so pleased, they spread the word. She gets so many requests, she has a waiting list and can pick the projects that sing to her soul. She's constantly talking to her customers, so she knows exactly what they want. As a result, she's becoming a better artist and businesswoman. So, if we keep working on our masterpieces, what happens? We will never get our business off the ground. That is the truth. If you spend infinite hours perfecting your idea, that does not equal how successful your business will be. I promise. I've helped tons of entrepreneurs. In the Zero to Launch program, I go over exactly how to get over this and how to start getting out there with your idea. So, are you going to put yourself out there and start getting clients? What's holding you back? And feel free to actually answer that question in the chat and tell me what is holding you back. Is it that fear of being perfect? Somebody said that I'll get sued. That's an interesting one. Well, not an interesting one. I mean, obviously that's a real fear. Fear of failure and fear of success. Yep, that's a huge one. Thank you, Crystal. Yeah. Fear of becoming too busy because I work full time, not having the certification, so I don't know what licenses, et cetera, I need. Yep, absolutely. Okay. An introvert, yep, definitely a struggle for introverts, not being able to stick with it, business plan not complete, fear in general, yep. It's okay. All entrepreneurs, honestly, are scared. I don't want to sell myself, yep. That's a big one. I totally hear you. Whew. Okay, mistake number 2. So hopefully you guys are finding this valuable. Hopefully this is resonating with you. Mistake number 2, not figuring out who your ideal client is. Let me know if this is you in the chat. You haven't yet figured out who your ideal client is, or you're not sure, or you're like fluctuating between a bunch of different people. Let me know if that is you. Yep, very much so. I know who I want to target to start. That's good. All right. So we want to help everyone. And we are told that to get sales, we need to make a name for ourselves before we can get choosy. But if you're not even sure who your dream client is, why would they choose you? I want you to think about that, okay? I'm going to give you an example too. So this is Chef Bobo. Chef Bobo, he is a traditionally trained sushi chef, and he wants to open a sushi restaurant. But he's opening it in the US. And so he's like, you know what? I'm going to also have burgers and pizza because I want to make sure that like everyone has something to eat here and everyone feels comfortable. And he's opening his restaurant in an area with a big Mexican population. So he's like, you know what? I'm also going to have tacos because I want to appeal to everybody. And then he's like, you know what? I may as well also throw in some additional Asian fusion. So I'm going to also have Thai and Korean food. But if you're walking by Chef Bobo's and it's serving all these different types of cuisine, is that where you're going to want to go eat? Like if you're craving sushi, you're probably going to go look for the best sushi restaurant, you know? So when are you going to really think to go to Chef Bobo's? So that's kind of the example of what happens when you don't choose an audience. So I'm going to read you guys this quote. Forced prioritization is really painful. Smart people recognize the value of all the material. They see nuance, multiple perspectives, and because they fully appreciate the complexities of the situation, they're often tempted to linger there. This tendency to gravitate towards complexity is perpetually at war with the need to prioritize. I love that quote. Also, I think a couple people might not be on mute. So if you're not on mute, please put yourself on mute. Another good quote from the founder of my old agency. Many want their brand to be all things to all people. they end up with less than something. So I know it's really hard, but it is so important to choose your audience. If we try to serve everyone, we may not end up serving anyone. That's the reality. The more types of people you focus on serving does not equal how many people you help. Whew. So in Zero to Launch, we talk about how to find that fit and how to choose the right products and services, have a good offer that has a good balance with your ideal target audience, because that is so important. Aw, thanks, Linda. I'm glad you like this advice. All right, so are you guys ready to speak to your dream client so that they can choose you? Feel free to let me know in the chat if you're like, yes, I'm ready. I feel confident about who my audience is. Or if I don't yet know who my audience is, I'm going to narrow it down. And it doesn't have to be, just remember that if you choose one audience, it's not like you can't help other people. It's not like you're like, if I'm serving, female painters primarily, it's not like if a male painter comes to you, you're going to be like, no, I'm not going to work with you, right? It's all about finding that fit, finding your dream client. What are the characteristics that make them a perfect fit for your offer so that they can be attracted to you, so you can gain notoriety in that niche and people can find you and come to you more easily. Yes, I love these answers in the chat. People are ready. Okay. Woo, I think you guys are finding this valuable. Hopefully you are. I feel like I could wrap up the webinar right now. All right, mistake number 3, wasting tons of time and money trying to build a fancy website and a big social media following. So let me know in the chat if this is you. This is something that you are struggling with. If you feel like and it's okay if you've already poured a ton of time and energy and money into a website and or social media. Let me know if this is something that's like a barrier for you and you're like, oh, I haven't launched because I feel like I need a perfect website, or I haven't launched because, my social media just isn't up to snuff, or I don't really know what I'm doing. Yes. Okay. Jasmine, Tanvi, Sandy. Yup. Okay. Thank you guys for sharing. Not yet. Okay, cool. Barrier. Social media scares me. Yup. Absolutely. This is a big thing that people are scared. This is so me. Okay. You guys are awesome. Yeah, you're not alone. A lot of people. Sorry, if you're not on mute, please go ahead and put yourself on mute, guys. Thank you. So we believe we need a big audience and consistent content because we're told that's what we need to establish credibility and get sales. What if you could launch your business without a website or social media? Am I blowing your guys' mind right now? I hope so. Because this is what I teach in the Zero to Launch program. It's all about the easy way to launch, and then you can start getting clients, start getting consistent income that you can then reinvest in your business to grow. Okay. Most entrepreneurs I see are building their marketing the colorful junk car way. Let me explain to you guys what I mean by that. So let's take the example of Solo Hustler Simon, right? Let's bring him back. Solo Hustler Simon, he's really overwhelmed. He's like, I really need a marketing strategy. So he looks around at what everybody else is doing. And he's like, okay, let me take all these tactics and put together a marketing strategy. So he buys this used car, right? This used car, cobbling together all these different marketing tactics that other people are doing. And the car catches on fire because it's not a very good car. And he didn't really think it through and get it checked out. And it's not a great situation for Simon. But he's looking around. He's like, okay, my friend, she listened to this podcast and it told her that like Instagram lives, that's really where it's at right now. I'm going to start doing Instagram lives. And that's really going to be the solution. That's really going to help out my business. So he slaps a fresh coat of paint on that car. He sees that shiny object and he goes after it. Slap some Instagram lives on that marketing, on those marketing tactics, on that marketing strategy. And he's like, that's going to help me out. That fresh coat of paint, those Instagram lives. And then he he sees somebody else on he listens to somebody else on a podcast. And it's like, you should start your own podcast. That's it. That's what you need to really get your business going, is starting a podcast. So he tints those windows, gets some rims, slaps that on the car, slaps that on the used car. And he's like, that's going to be the solution for me. I'm going to do better with the podcast, and that's really going to help my business out. just all these random tactics that he's seeing in other places, seeing other people do, seeing other people be successful with. He's like, I'm going to try that. He just keeps getting distracted by all these different shiny objects. That's colorful junk car marketing. So think about it. He is spending all this time on all these different marketing tactics, hours per week, probably having lots of recurring payments for different things to like post his content, all these different things. He's spending tons of time and effort on this. And guess what? None of this is real revenue. He's spending time doing all of these things that don't lead to sales. And if you look at the numbers, if he's actually spending like 70 hours a week on all this stuff, that's a freaking full-time job. And none of that is his actual work. None of that is actually getting him paying clients. It's a mess. Don't do that, okay? That is more than a full-time job, and it is not generating revenue for him. So I just want you guys to know that one size fits all marketing tactics are worthless. What you need is a marketing strategy that will help your ideal customers find you and want to buy from you. And I promise you, it is much easier. And it's not your fault if these tactics haven't worked for you. It's that you're being sold all a one size fits all copy and paste approaches. You need a marketing strategy that is tailored to you, to your offer, to your business, and to your target audience, okay? If you're listening to all these marketing gurus, it is a recipe for no consistent income, no real marketing plan, and no easy work days. So what is so important is to have an effective marketing strategy, okay? Not a bunch of colorful junk car tactics. So feel free to let me know if you guys have been feeling distracted by all these different shiny objects of all the different like latest marketing thing that people to tell you to do, whether it's like invest all this time in Instagram Reels, or you need to start a podcast, or, you know, you have to have a Facebook group, or, you know, right. There are way too many shiny objects out there. It's so easy to get distracted. There's so much out there. Yes, absolutely. Whew. Listen, having no marketing strategy is keeping you where you are now. In Zero to Launch, I actually show you how to launch the easy way without any of this stuff. And then we build you a sustainable integrated marketing strategy that will work for your business and your audience. Whew. So are you guys ready to launch your business without a website or social media? I hope so. Feel free to let me know in the chat if you're like, yes, I'm ready. I want you to sit here for a second and just think about a year from now, if you keep spending your days the way you're spending them now, what will your life look like? Take a second, think about that. So I want you to stop dreaming about having your own business and actually start living your dream, okay? That's my goal for you. That's what I want for you. There are lots of ways to start a business, right? We all know this. Some are a lot harder than others, okay? And I think sometimes we get hung up on the credibility of starting the hard way and trying to do it alone and like not getting help. But honestly, you're gonna be so much better off if you get mentorship. That's why you guys are here, right? You wanna get mentorship and help from people who've been there, who've done it, and who can show you the easier ways, the shortcuts. There's no shortcut, right, to overnight success, right? You gotta put in the work, but finding people who can help reduce the learning curve and get you there faster, right? Because that's your bottom line, that's your life, that's your business, that's your time, that's your money. So I want you guys to take off that busy badge with me, and I want to talk to you. Okay, so who believes you can start your business without working crazy hours using a launch roadmap? Tell me yes or no in the chat. 100%, I'm ready. Lenora's exhausted. Deb, Lisa, Deb, yes. Woo, Andrew, yeah, all right. We are ready. Awesome, I love it. So let me tell you a little bit about the 4-part Zero to Launch roadmap. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the pieces of the roadmap that I put together. So, oh wait, yes, before we do that though, I'm gonna tell you one more time to go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Duraca Strategic. Feel free to go ahead, take a screenshot now, tag me in your stories, tell me something that you learned from this training or something you're excited about. And if you want a special offer for my Zero to Launch program, go ahead on Instagram right now and DM me your email. So if you go find me on Instagram, pull out your phone. I'll go see who has commented here. And if you guys have any questions for me, yes. Okay, awesome. So go ahead and find me on Instagram at Duraca_Strategic. Go ahead, tag me on Instagram stories, send me your email, send me any questions you have, and I'll be sure to follow up with you after the training, okay? So Part one of the Zero to Launch roadmap, lay the groundwork for success, okay? So when we don't lay the groundwork for success, we waste a lot of time going in the wrong direction, right? Okay, so a lot of people do this. They end up having to rebrand, a few months later because they didn't do all the strategic thinking up front to set themselves up for success. So stop driving and start laying the groundwork for success. So what does that mean? In the Zero to Launch program, we do all of this work. So first you examine your market, you examine your competitors, and you examine your audience, right? And we find out who that ideal target audience is, not just from who you want to work with, but who wants to work with you. So we do all of that work in the Zero to Launch program to make sure you're set up for success. Because which house do you want to live in? Do you want to live in a really nice, beautiful house with a solid foundation? Or do you want to live in like this boarded up, struggling house over here with like broken windows? Feel free to let me know in the chat. Oh, somebody said if you don't have Instagram, you can email me. I'll put my email in here, strategic@gmail.com. Duraca.strategic@gmail.com is my email. Feel free to email me as well. And feel free to put in the chat which house you want to live in. You can actually type emojis in the chat. On a Mac, I think it's like Control Apple spacebar to do an emoji. And you can feel free to type in the house emoji that you want of which house you want. I think we probably all want the nice house, right? That's why it's so important to lay a solid foundation. So here's a few of the people that did my program, had a really amazing time. This is Elimar. When she came to me, she had 0 online sales. Now she's had over 300 sales on Etsy and has made over $15,000. She is amazing. She and her mom are both immigrants from Venezuela. They started doing jewelry together, making eco-friendly, sustainable jewelry as like a mom and daughter thing. And her mom, it really gave her like a sense of purpose and identity after coming to the States. I love her so much. There's Chris. He was really struggling identifying his audience, and this program really helped him nail it. All right, so step 2, defining your brand. Super important. So if you can't explain your business, no one will understand it. And people can't buy what they don't understand, right? So remember Chef Bobo? Like walking by, if you see all that stuff, it's just like, what is going on there? Like, do I want to go there? It's a lot, right? So what I'm telling you is figure out what your competitive advantage is and focus on that. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Great businesses are about more than just the product or the service. Because if we have a ton of different sushi restaurants in DC, which we do, how do you know which restaurant you want to go to? It's not just about the food. Sometimes it is, but if we're making this analogy about more than just food, right? It's not just about the product or the service that you offer. So how are you going to stand out? You need a powerful brand. And what does that mean? I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I love that Maya Angelou quote. And we're not talking about people right now, right? We're talking about brands. Because your relationship with your audience, you want it to be not just a transactional relationship, right? It's not just about me selling you something. You want to build a real relationship with your audience. You want to have an emotional connection with them. You want to really understand them and what they want and what they need, where they're at in their journey. And you want them to feel truly connected to you, to your business values, right? You want to be able to connect with them on something more than just your product or your service. And that's what really builds brand loyalty. It keeps people coming back to you, it keeps people referring people to you. And this is science, right? I bet if you think back to something that happened to you where you have a really strong memory of it, I bet you'll realize that you were in a heightened emotional state during that time, right? That's why you want to emotionally connect with people, because they'll remember you. You have to genuinely connect with your audience so that the decision to work with you is easy and your clients are excited to share about your business, okay? You know exactly where to start because you already laid the groundwork for success, right? That's what we did in part 1 of Zero to Launch. Part 2, it's all about defining your brand. So you're going to figure out what to offer based on market gaps and opportunities and your strengths and skills. This is what we do in Zero to Launch. Then You develop a brand position and values that differentiate you and match up with your dream clients. You price your offer, and then you figure out what to say to your dream clients, your messaging. So this is Melissa. She did my 0 to Launch program. She came in, she didn't really have a sense of her brand and didn't really know what she wanted to do. And by the end, she had nailed her brand. She knew exactly what she wanted to do. And she had built the perfect brand for her lifestyle. She is a digital nomad. And so she was able to build an online yoga business that lets her teach anywhere in the world. Also, Leah, who's actually DC based. Some of you might know Leah. Leah really wanted to get into social justice advocacy after being a patent attorney, a Lyft driver, lots of different things. And Leah really found her calling with justice, and she just got so much value out of the program. All right, step 3. This is when we actually launch your dream business, right? So important. So imagine for a second, everybody take a second, close your eyes. Imagine with me, you already started your dream business. And maybe some of you guys already have, maybe you're already there. So I want you to think about what you want your life to look like. What is so important to you about launching your business, and where do you want to be at? How do you want to feel? What do you want to be doing when that happens? What do you want your life to look like? So remember all those things I wanted when I started my business: being my own boss, traveling the world, finding dream clients, consistent income, time for me. I've got all of those things now. I was able to design my ideal life and business based on what I wanted. And that's what I want for you guys. Remember all that stuff I got to do? Got to do all that stuff, right? So if you had already started your business, what would your life look like? And feel free to tell me in the chat too, if you want. Having repeat clients, yep, that will make your life so much better, right? Absolutely. Let me know if there's anything about your guys' life that you want when you start your business. Feel free to pop in the chat. Being able to celebrate my client's success, yup. And feel free to put in here like personal goals too. You're like, I want to have time to take a vacation. I want to have time to hang out with my family, traveling the world with my family, consistent repeat clients, consistent income, time for me, smaller time restrictions, and make money while I'm sleeping, spend time with my nieces and nephews, having a place for employees to express their creativity. I love these. Yes, more money to help my kids. Yes, I love these, you guys. These are wonderful. Having a fully written success letter of what my life would look like 1 year from launch. I love that. I'm a trusted advisor that clients reach out to for wellness events, health lectures, and collaboration opportunities for the community. Yes. Yes, I love this. You guys have to build that vision now so you can get there. These are amazing. Okay, so we're thinking about what our life would look like. What would you be doing today? What would your daily life look like? Okay. How many people would you have already helped in your business? We get in our heads because we think launching is hard and scary. Remember Sergey? That guy wasted 2 years of his life and then no one bought his masterpiece. It was really sad. So what if I told you that launching doesn't have to look like that? What if I told you could launch the easy way? All you need to launch is a product or a service and people who want to buy it. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. So in part 3, launch your dream business. That's where we make your first sales and you get your first clients and you start getting revenue in the door so that you can reinvest that in your business. You start making money. This is Liz. She became a college consultant after going through 0 to Launch. She'd been working for a big company for many years and she really wanted to be her own boss. This is another Liz, a sustainability consultant. She had just so much amazing energy and was so excited. She said the program is foolproof. So part 4, you've already launched. This is when we create your marketing strategy. So remember all that time being wasted on colorful junk car marketing tactics? Yeah, we're not going to do that. It's like throwing a bunch of spaghetti at the wall and hoping that something sticks, right? We're not going to do that. What you need is to be able to reliably attract clients so that your business can be successful and you can make consistent income, right? Because we all know, like, that's the appeal of having a full-time job, right? Of working for someone else is that steady paycheck. If we invest in ourselves and build our own businesses, we can create that success for ourselves, right? So you can have the same stability and the same consistent income and even more because you're investing in yourself and you know what you can achieve. It's not true that if you build it, they will come, unfortunately. So what do we do? I teach in my Zero to Launch program the integrated marketing method. So what this means is that you can stop using the random tactics and have a real strategy to reach the right person in the right place at the right time with the right message. And in the Zero to Launch program, I go over all of these different factors and how you can do this so that you can take your dream client from being unaware you exist, because let's be honest, right now, probably not everyone in the world knows you exist, your business exists. Maybe your family, your partner, your kids, your friends. Probably there's a lot of people out there, especially your dream clients, who probably don't know you exist. So we want to take them from being unaware of you to being aware, to being interested in working with you, to actually working with you, to buying from you, to purchasing from you, to hiring your services, and then to become a brand advocate for you. And what that means is they share your business with other people and they encourage other people to work with you and they send you referrals. So that is helping combat that unawareness problem. So in this part of the Zero to Launch program, you create an actual marketing strategy. So we're getting consistent income, we're getting consistent clients. You want to be able to attract dream clients consistently. Imagine sitting down every day and knowing exactly how to attract dream clients and get consistent income, and exactly what you need to do to make progress and drive your business forward. Feel free to tell me in the chat if you're like, that's what I want. I want to be able to do that. So this is Sarah. She was a coach, but she didn't know anything about marketing. She does parenting coaching. She didn't know anything about marketing, and she was really she was having a really hard time finding clients. And now she feels super confident because she has the skills to actually let people know her coaching business exists. This is Morgan. Oh my God, she's one of my favorite in the world. She works in New York. She had a huge job, full-time job as assistant director for case coordination in New York City, working all on the coronavirus response and having a baby and doing Peloton every day at the same time. She wanted to start her own private therapy practice, helping other women who are becoming moms. And because of the Zero to Launch program, she was able to 100% book out her practice within 1 week of launching. She's making $5,000 a month in her new practice just from seeing clients 6 to 7 hours per week. She does that on top of her full-time job. And she's a new mom. Like, she's so busy. If she can do it, like, I promise you guys can do this. So if you take away one thing from today, I want you to know that you can start your dream business without aimlessly working crazy hours, okay? The big question is, how can you apply this framework to start your own business while cutting your time in half? So the question is, do you want to be solo hustler Simon and keep aimlessly working without getting his business off the ground and booking clients? Or do you want to be sold out Sam? She's excited to wake up every day and work on her business. She knows exactly where she's going and how she's getting there. So it's time for you guys to stop daydreaming about being an entrepreneur and start your dream business with a launch roadmap, okay? It's time to follow a roadmap that works and takes the guesswork out of launching. So I'm really excited to tell you guys about Zero to Launch. I've talked about it a lot today. My program is open. So if you're interested in enrolling, again, feel free to send me your email address either on Instagram at Duraca_strategic, or I know some of you guys said you don't have Instagram. So feel free to email me, Duraca_strategic@gmail.com. I would love to have you guys in the program and help you with all of this stuff. So feel free to follow up with me. And I think that is everything I have for you guys today. I'm going to take questions. So if you have any questions, feel free. Now is the moment. You can turn on your cameras. You can unmute yourselves, and feel free to ask me some questions about any of this or all of this. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you guys today. And thank you so much for your participation in the chat. I know, like I said, I know it's really hard to be vulnerable and share these things on a webinar with lots of strangers. So props to you guys for doing that. And thank you so much. So feel free to put questions in the chat or ask me. So Crystal said, how much is a program? How much is your program running? And is it group or one-on-one? Is there a fee to join your group? Yeah, okay, so let me address those questions really quick. I think I have some slides actually. These are all the things you get inside the program. And here, yes, here we have all the prices. So this is the value of the program. This is everything that's included in the program. The 90-day launch roadmap, which is to help you launch within 90 days. The integrated marketing method, which I just talked about. Community support. We have a private Slack group. And if you don't have Slack, it's really easy to use. It's super fun. It's like having a Facebook group, but without the ickiness of being on Facebook. You get lifetime access to the past and future trainings. I have a bonus for you guys called Fire Post Prompts for all those of you who are scared to join, to post on social media. And I have a Quit Your 9 to 5 blueprint to help you decide exactly how and when to quit your day job if you have a day job. And that value is almost $10,000. But I know that entrepreneurs can't afford that, especially in the early stages. So for you guys, I have the cost is just $97 a month, and you get all of those things. So let's see. Yeah, you can. There's two options. You can either do $97 a month for 12 months, and you get a full year of support in the program. There's a monthly live hot seat call. So that's where we get on a Zoom call, not like this one where you guys are all on mute, but a real conversation where you submit your questions, you get in the hot seat, anything you're struggling with, we go over all of that stuff on the calls. You get the exact same thing with monthly versus the annual. The annual option is better if you have the money now because you get 2 months for free. That's the only option. If you pay everything up front for the annual one, it's $970 a year. So it's everything is, you get the exact same things. It's just that you get 2 months for free. And if you don't have $970 right now, you do the monthly one, and it's just $97 a month. This freaks early entrepreneurs out, but I just want you guys to think about how quickly you can make that money back. The question really isn't whether you'll be able to make the money back, it's how many times you'll be able to make the money back. So if you think about it as like, how much is my service? Like, let's say it's $100. Well, if you sell 12 of those, you've already made the money back. So it's an investment in yourself. You're saving a lot of time and energy from trying to figure out all that stuff on your own. Hopefully that answered your question, Crystal. Let me know if you have any other questions. I didn't want to go through all of these details, but I'm happy to answer any other questions about the program. So yeah, any other questions you guys have about any of the stuff that I talked about today? Thanks, Crystal. Okay, great. Looking forward to chatting with you. If you guys want, we could take a Zoom selfie. If everybody feels like turning on their camera, we can do a screenshot if you guys want, no pressure. I see a lot of folks with no camera off, which I totally appreciate. I know we're all sick of Zoom and being on Zoom, so totally understand if you don't want to turn your camera on. Thanks, Linda. Deb said, how many people do you take in your group? And Sandy said, does your program help determine whether a business is viable? So yes, there's a lot of elements of the program in which we talk about how to make sure your business is viable, how to test your ideas, how to validate your ideas. That is so important. I don't want you guys going into business full-time, or if you have a day job, quitting your job to go into business full-time before you have validated your business idea and your plans. So important to do that first, because this is your livelihood, right? This is your financial security. You want to make sure that you feel confident and solid about it before you take a big step like that. So yes, so important to verify that first. Deb, to answer your question, how many people? There's not a limit, right? So it's the program is, every session is a recorded video, and then I give you guys a template that you fill out for yourselves to go through the exercise, and then we have live monthly calls that you can join, or if you can't join, you get the recording. So there's lots of ways to. Andrew said, your program seems to be focused heavily on marketing. Are there resources that provide guidance on how to set up your business entity, accounting, legal requirements for specific industries? You are right, Andrew. My background is brand strategy, business strategy, and marketing strategy. So I focus more on those elements as opposed to the legal, accounting, and trademark requirements. But I do have some resources and advice in there about those elements. For those of you who are in the early stages and you don't really know, you do want to form some kind of legal entity typically for your business. And the point that you do that at might depend. Typically, you want to try to do that before you're really getting started. So there's different ways to do that. You could form an LLC. You could form something called an S Corp. There's other ways of doing it, but what you want to do is do that so that you're basically legally protected. If something happens with your business, then, for example, no one can take your personal assets if you've incorporated as a business, right? So that's important because hopefully nothing will ever happen, right? But just in case something were to happen, you want to make sure that you're protected. Accounting wise, right? You want to try to keep all your business expenses and all your personal expenses totally separate. And you want to make sure you're prepared for what taxes look like and things like that when you're going into business for yourself. Some people don't know this. So what I do is I have an LLC, and that means that it's separated from my personal stuff, right? And then also being self-employed, that means I pay estimated taxes, which is 4 times a year. And then you also pay federal taxes, right? So I got an accountant because I was like, this is not my thing. I want to be able to outsource this, right? And focus on my area of expertise. But just so you know, if you're thinking about starting a business, these are important things to think about. And let me know if you guys have any other specific questions.
And Tasha, just to let folks know, and Andrew, we can definitely help with that through the DCSBDC. We can help you with questions you may have on setting your business up, what might be the best structure for you, and so on. So we can definitely help you with that.
Yeah, ask SBDC. They're the experts.
And at no charge.
At no charge. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Does anybody else have questions? I'm going to take a quick screen grab. So I know a lot of you guys have your camera off, which is totally fine. I'm going to take a quick screen grab, but feel free to turn on your camera. Okay, great. Well, if people don't have any other questions, I'll turn it over to Charles in a minute, but I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining today, and for everybody who was so active in the chat. I really enjoyed, meeting you guys, and I'm so excited for you guys wherever you are on your journey. I hope you'll let me know on Instagram where you're at, and if you learned something today, let me know what was particularly helpful or not helpful for you guys. I'm always looking to improve the webinar, make sure it's really useful for people. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you guys so much for joining. I know it's hard getting on Zoom these days, especially now that things are opening back up again, and it's starting to be kind of nice outside, although I guess very cicada-y. So I really appreciate you guys taking an hour out of your day to join. Thank you so much. I really had a great time with you all today.
And Tasha, thank you so much. We appreciate you for some great information there. And
Awesome.
definitely we'll have to have you back again, definitely. And for those who came on a little bit late, just to let everybody know, the recording of the broadcast will be posted on the DCSBDC website. I don't know exactly when, but it will be posted. And again, as Tasha mentioned earlier, in follow-up, if you check with her or follow up with her, she'll get you a copy of the slide deck. So with that, I don't see any additional questions. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.